Good evening and welcome to the 23 News Update at 10. I'm Kourtney Adams. Thank you for joining us tonight. The fire began on this side of the house in the garage, and they were sleeping in the basement on the opposite side. These life-saving devices are very simple to use. All you have to do is pull down on the black tab, lift up with the handle, and then you have your raft to throw it to someone in need of help. Women throughout this course learn many different techniques like the palm heel stun and the slap. The Clorox Total 360 machine is very simple. All it takes is just a push of the button and it will completely wrap around the item you're spraying. When domestic violence victims are searching for help, they can come to a place like Remedies Renewing Lives to get shelter, food, and even counseling. This prevents a carbon monoxide buildup inside the vehicle. Residents have been stopping by all day today to check out this dam that is usually here in Yellow Creek, but right now it's almost non-existent. Eating disorder counselors say that oftentimes we find ourselves just falling into an automatic routine of going to the pantry and grabbing some food without even realizing we're not even hungry. A 26-year-old Hispanic man dies from a gunshot wound after being found in the road on Sharon Avenue. Emergency care pre-hospital providers practice on realistic patients like this one that even have some blood stains, some charcoal from the fire, and even weigh about 200 pounds. The BLS projects the most dramatic change in employment will be among postal workers because of the wide use of email nowadays, dropping nearly 34% within the next 6 years. Neighbors react to the shooting, saying they were shocked to hear the news because their neighborhood is relatively quiet. Construction workers aren't known as your typical heroes, but for one little boy, they're a huge inspiration. The group ends their 3-mile journey here at Bethany Presbyterian Church, where the cross is erected, followed by a short prayer service in honor of Good Friday. The fire department tells me they've responded to 1,750 calls in 2017, which is about 193 more calls than 2016. A bubble celebrity was in Rockford today, blowing bubbles and blowing minds. Construction workers have been hard at work for the past few months, and the final project is expected to be complete in spring of 2020. In Rockford, Kourtney Adams, 23 News.
I can't believe I wasted 17 years. 17 years before I finally found the courage to leave.
Christy Vongchan is a survivor of domestic violence.
It was a vicious cycle that just was not ending.
Vongchan was in and out of a relationship with her abuser for 17 years. They had 5 children together throughout those years.
He had me convinced, well, how can he help me financially if he's in jail? If you press charges, if you do this or that, I'm going to lose my job, and then I can't help you financially, and you're not going to make it.
Vongchan says she felt herself sinking into a depression and was always on edge.
There was a situation one day where we were arguing, and he choked me while I was pregnant. I was shocked and devastated.
Rockford police say that's a sign the abuse is getting worse and a victim could eventually be killed. Vongchan says her abuser targeted the children as well.
There came a point when he was so abusive with my daughter that she told me she wanted to kill herself.
Rockford Police Lieutenant Kurt Wizenan says about 25% of homes in the U.S. experience some type of domestic violence.
For instance, in our school district, there's roughly 28,000 children. So that means there's about 7,000 kids coming to public schools every day who are growing up in violent homes.
Lieutenant Wizenan says this has an effect on the whole community.
They see a parent or a guardian being abused. They become desensitized to the violence. They're more likely to become an offender themselves.
There was always that me looking out for the best interest in my children, but not realizing the best thing for them was to get away from him. Knowing that needed to happen, but not knowing how, not having resources, not knowing how to do it.
When domestic violence victims are searching for help, they can come to a place like Remedies Renewing Lives to get shelter, food, and even counseling.
No one should ever feel demeaned by the person that loves them most in life. It's hard to leave. It's hard to set aside your dreams and what you thought was your life plan. And a lot of times you just need that extra helping hand.
Rockford police say domestic violence accounts for about 30% of their overall violent crime. They say it's important to recognize it in its early stages.
It's not love, it's not caring, it's about power and control. And if there's somebody in your life who's trying to exert that power and control over you, that's the first step of domestic violence.
I think I would have left sooner had I known that there were options here for me sooner. Because in the end, we can't undo what my children have seen or what we've been a part of. I'm healing day by day, and I'm feeling stronger and stronger, which is the good news. But there are days I worry about my children. I'm still every day actively seeking to get completely away from my abuser, because the longer you stay, the harder it is to get away.
In Rockford, Kourtney Adams, 23 News.